A year ago, when I first started coming to Jalalabad, I was doing site assessments for reconstruction operations, and one of the projects that I was looking at was the rehabilitation of the Nangarhar University Teaching Hospital. And because the San Diego Sister City program has been working much with the Nangarhar University, I thought I would come to see how their teaching hospital was doing. And since I'm an MD, PhD, medical things are rather interesting to me. So when we came up to the front of the hospital, I see this nice sign that says construction completed. And so I asked the hospital administrator, very good, what did they do? And he said, well, they've worked on the sewer system and the electricity. I said, oh, that's really great. So as I see how the work is going.
I noticed the American flag there.
It's a nice flag. And I walked around the back of the hospital, and I see a nice new pipe and obviously new construction, and I looked and I saw some red fluid actually pouring out, and this is in an area where it's open to the public.
Which was?
So I asked the hospital administrator, so that looks like blood, don't you think? He said, well, that is. I said, oh, well, why don't you cover up this? If, there's kids playing in the water right down here, why don't we cover this up? And he said, well, when the people that did the contract, the donors that gave the contract, the contractor just answered to the donors, and so the hospital administrator had no authority.
So so I'm clear, you're walking on the outside of the hospital.
Outside of the hospital.
Looking at the new plumbing.
At the new plumbing.
Proudly completed.
It was declared done. I'm not sure proudly completed would be terms I would use.
But declared
yes.
finished,
yes.
completed?
Yes, says completed, 3 months, 05, and this was April 06.
And this is what you saw?
Yes, and I was rather surprised. And
which was blood pouring out of the drain?
It turns out that's blood pouring right out of the drain into an open cistern where, if you looked down the drain, down the same cistern, there's a water faucet, and it's the only outside water, and there's children actually playing in the same, this is connected to where they're playing.
So as a doctor, when you saw blood pouring out of this drain, what was your reaction?
Well, that's an interesting strategy for sanitation. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, okay, it wasn't completed and they made a mistake. And they just hadn't completed it.
This had to be a mistake.
Obviously, this doesn't equal completion. And so, again, after talking to the hospital administrator, and he pointed out that the contractor, because he brought this up to the contractor and asked him to put a grate over it, and the contractor pretty much said, you're on your own because I answer to the people that gave me the contract, not to you. And so
basically the hospital has no control over the work that's done there.
Yes, they have no authority to change it wasn't ever anywhere stated that that's had to be covered, and so the contractor said, show me where it says I need to cover this. And you have no authority in my contract because I get paid by this other donor community. And this is a repeating story, but this just stood out as particularly interesting.
Not to mention a health hazard.
Yeah.